Hey guys, really good to be here with you. Feeling like a lot of darkness is passing through, a lot of, just maybe difficult energies. Almost like it has a violence to it, like a really, like a violent kind of storm with dark clouds passing through and lightning and thunder, lots of wind. And yeah, how it can just be kind of hard to bear while you're in it. It can be, and the emotions and the energies of this storm, we could say, would be shame and rage and terror. That's what I feel like is kind of passing through, at least in my field. And it can be hard not to take these energies personally. It can be hard to not to get into this kind of mind loop where you're like, oh, I must have done something wrong, or I'm bad because these energies are here. And that's typically kind of like the dialogue of shame, or just these unconscious energies in general. So like I was pointing to yesterday, it's taking a lot of like really masculine strength to really see through the stories of the mind while we're in these storms of darkness. And maybe not all of you are in this kind of storm right now. And that's, maybe we take turns, right? We're like teams, or we're like nodes, or some of us are working over here kind of together, and while others are doing this other work. And then some of us are getting a break at certain times, So I guess this video is more geared towards those of you who are in the dense stuff right now, the terribleness. That's kind of what I felt about these energies, just like a terribleness passing through. And like I said, it can be difficult on the mind. It can also help us disidentify from the mind, because these storms of terribleness help bring up the unconscious parts in us that are resist life, that haven't had their non-dual awakening yet, you could say. That kind of fight what is, that don't see that the divine is in darkness. So these storms can be cathartic in their own way. They can take with them the parts of us that are in resistance to darkness, to density, to pain, you could say. And so these storms have their own clearing effect, their own purifying effect for us. And they can help empty us out. And so it's always nice to just kind of adopt a perspective that is empowering, to see what every moment is doing for you, rather than kind of this perspective like, oh, I don't like that this is happening to me. And if that's real for you, you can totally not like it. There's been parts of my own psyche, consciousness that haven't liked what's been coming up, what's been passing through my field. And we honor those parts. We don't make them wrong. We don't bypass them. We hold space for them. We let them tell their story. We let them say, I fucking hate this. This sucks. I don't feel like I can do this for another second. We let the egoic consciousness be overwhelmed. And in a sense, the egoic consciousness is true. It can't do this. It can't do this path. And that's kind of the point. But your greater self, your true self, your Kundalini self, you could say, your divine essence is the part that can do this path, is the part that is continuing to do this path, even when your egoic layers are giving up and failing. Even when you're getting identified with your thoughts of shame, I'm bad, I'm wrong, I can't do this, whatever, there's still something here in your field that is doing this for you. Someone actually came in the house in the middle of when I was channeling, so I had to come outside and finish the video up, which is fitting because it's a very frigid day here. It's very cold. And sometimes it's like that, like the weather patterns we're in are matching our inner states. And so it is interesting up in Montana, central Montana, where it's still very much winter and icy. I caught a chill last night sleeping. I was like, what the hell is going on? I've been in Florida and Arizona, California, so a little different. But like I was saying, there are parts of you, like the ego parts can't do this, but there is something here that is the true you, that can do this, that signed up for this, that knows that there's gifts in this path, that is reveling in the darkness in a sense, because it's such a valuable state to be in. There's so much soul growth. There's so much growth available for your soul on this path. This realm, above all, is meant to challenge your soul, to help it expand, to help it grow. And so just staying in contact with, and actually when you go through the dark storms, the storms are the things that help you come into contact and to help you start to identify more with your soul than you do the part that's in resistance to life, than you do the part that's in resistance to darkness, to pain. So actually, for me, it's always like, and Adyashanti points to this too, it's the suffering and the pain that evolves us the fastest. And that's been my own direct experience. The deeper suffering I go through, like the deepest suffering, have been when I've taken my biggest leaps in consciousness. When I'm going through immense darkness, those times of immense darkness are like portals into connecting more deeply with my soul, into actually living more as my soul, living an embodied life, like letting the soul come all the way in to the body and actually live this life, rather than having kind of the animal consciousness living this life. So actually storms are really beautiful because they help empty us out of, like you could say, animal consciousness, 3D consciousness, duality. They help, they're just like, we're going through purges as a collective, as individuals right now. Yeah, I sort of lost my channel that I was in, but I tried to kind of pick it up. Sometimes that's kind of hard to do. It doesn't feel quite as clear as it was, but nonetheless, that's the video today. Just if you're in terribleness, if you're in awfulness, if you're in if you're in just really difficult energies and feelings and thought forms are grabbing a hold of you and you feel kind of helpless and overwhelmed, know that, you know, you're part of a team, you're part of a collective, you're not alone in this, you will get through this, this shall pass, you will come out of this feeling more free, more able to, like for me, the darkness is always a time where I have to find my power. Like I was saying earlier in the video, where I have to find this kind of masculine power where I can just cut through the darkness. It's almost like we learn to just kind of stand as the light, even in a fucking horrible storm that's just filled with all kinds of energies that feel impossible to be with. And that's where the warrior bursts. The warrior bursts not in it feels bliss and all of that, the light feelings. No, the warrior bursts in the storm. The warrior bursts where there's lots of suffering, where there's lots of intense resistance. This is where this kind of divine masculine, this divine masculine strength can come online. It's almost like making a, you know, so many people use this analogy, like how you make a diamond, like the pressurized alchemy that goes into making a diamond. That's the same thing that's going on here. That's creating this dynamic power and strength within you that can just stand tall and stand firm and sturdy and upright no matter what comes your way. It's like it's like it's growing roots for this self that is wanting to manifest in human form. This self that is unmovable, unshakable, no matter what comes its way. The self that is completely fearless and can stand up to any type of darkness, any type of whatever, anything that's coming through. This is what these storms are helping you grow into. This kind of embodiment, this kind of power. So yeah, I hope this video was okay for you, that it helped you some. I wanted to let you guys know I'm starting this WhatsApp support group, Kundalini Ascension support group. You can access it via the Patreon platform for as little as $11 per month. And once you're part of this group, you can just simply put into the chat, hey, I'm in a crisis. I'm going through something really dark. I need help, or I'm feeling really lonely and would love connection. Or you don't even have to be in crisis. You could just say, hey, would love to talk to a fellow light worker, starseed, looking to make some new connections, whatever. You can just type that into the group chat, and hopefully someone can respond to that and like, hey, I can be here for you. I can hold space, or I'd love to connect too. And it's just now starting to grow. But I think over time, I had this vision as I was helping my parents with their new house that they're building, and I was stacking wood. I had this vision that there were going to be like maybe hundreds of you in that group, and when someone needed help, they could almost get instant support from someone. And how much of getting some chills saying this now, and it's not just cold chills, and how much of a game changer this could be for so many of you, to have support from someone who gets it, someone who actually gets it and is going through it too. And maybe like you're in crisis and someone else is too, and you two could connect, and just to share what you're going through and be heard by someone who just actually gets it is so invaluable, and has been so important for me on my path, in cultivating my own sense of inner well-being and my own sense of okayness with everything that's coming up. So I felt like this could be such a boon for so many of you, and I feel so gratified and grateful just to be able to offer this kind of community. And so, yeah, I'll be there as a moderator, as a host, if anything comes up, that if you have questions, if you need help with things. But I just felt like this could be a really beautiful thing to offer, and it's just it could just be, I feel like it could just be invaluable to kind of have that support and to kind of start creating those connections, right? And, maybe getting one-on-one sessions, it will still obviously, a lot of people can't afford one-on-one sessions, first of all. So this could be kind of a nice thing for them. But, one-on-one sessions can still be very important for you. This could just be like kind of another little avenue of support, or really rather important avenue of support for so many of you. And so, yeah, and doing it through the Patreon, where you have to be a paid member, it offers another layer of security and safety for that group. So we know who's there, everyone's kind of quote unquote vetted. It's like, we know they're part of the tribe, we know it's safe. And it helps support my ongoing efforts to bring through more offerings and more support for you guys, more things that will help you. So I just created that yesterday. I'm really excited about it. I really think it could help a lot of you. And so if you have questions about that, feel free to let me know. Just send an email. You're most likely to get a response that way. Other than that, yeah, just sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for being here. And may peace be with you all. Namaste.